Hey y'all, welcome to my front porch. Why don't you come on up and sit down for a while, sip you some coffee? It's a lovely, beautiful day. I mean, just take a look. Anywho, back to me. I want to talk about keeping things simple. I love the KISS method, and I don't know if y'all figured out yet. I like to keep things simple. So, over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about keeping it simple. Today, I'm going to talk about some general ideas, and then the next week or two, I'll talk about what I call the S's of simple living, and then probably wrap it up at the end. Anyway, let's talk about keeping it simple. One of the things that I think we need to do to reduce stress is to simplify things. So I want you to think about how you can simplify your life. Another word you could use is reduce. It might need to even take a walk around the house and see what needs to go. Yeah, before Christmas. That way your house doesn't explode when you open all those gifts. And I think one way of simplifying things is sitting down and making a list of what your priorities are. Now, I have a friend of mine. He's got a list of things that I guess he uses as guiding principles for his family. Typed it up, put it in a frame. And one of those guiding principles for his family is people are more important than things. And just being able to clarify and list those things that are more important to you might help you in the middle of the hustle and bustle of life. So just thought I'd throw that out there for something for you to think about. Now, when I take a look at what the Bible has to say about simplifying things, there's two things that jump out to me. One of them is Jesus simplified what it means to be a follower of him. And he basically says it's very simple. Love God and love people. And I don't know about y'all, but long lists kind of bore me. I lose attention real quick. So I love it when it's boiled down to simple. Love God, love people. And you'll find that everything else that's in that book, it's all about loving God or loving people. So, I don't know. Some of these theological people make my head hurt. Theology is important, but if you're not loving people in the middle of it, you slow down and get back to the basics. Kind of like Vince Lombardi. This, gentleman, is a football. And so the simplifying, clarifying statement, I think, from Jesus Christ is love God and love people. Now, at the end of the Old Testament, there is another verse that kind of brings some clarity to some things, because this book called Micah, it was written by the prophet Micah, and it was kind of at a dark period of the nation of Israel's life, and they were losing direction. And he kind of says, hold on a second, people. You need to pay attention. God has already told you what he requires. He's told you what's good. This is what he requires. And it was a list of 3 things. He said to do what's right, or in some versions it says to seek justice. Now, that sounds simple, but sometimes doing the right thing is very difficult, because you've got to choose between what's the right thing and what's convenient. Sometimes it's a choice between keeping your job or losing your job. But at the end of the day, the choices really need to be simple. Very simple. Do what's right. To stand up for what's right. Stand up for justice. And that includes other people. Yeah, loving people is as simple as standing up for them, making sure they are treated the right way. And the second thing on that list is to love mercy. See, there needs to always be a balance to justice, because if we lean too hard on the side of justice, Well, let's go to God's standard for a minute. He says if you want to lean hard on the side of justice, everybody deserves the death penalty. Yeah, we probably want to back off of justice just a little bit. The cool thing is God satisfied that justice with his son, Jesus Christ, dying on the cross. It says his death on the cross paid the penalty for our sin. And if we confess our sin, his justice demands that we are forgiven. So justice is a double-edged sword, really. So there always needs to be mercy. And it was God's mercy that sent Jesus to satisfy the justice of God. So God has even modeled how this looks for us. And the last thing is very, very key. It says that you need to walk humbly with God. Now, I don't know what all that looks like, but I can tell you what it does look like. People who aren't humble, you can't tell them what to do. You can't tell them nothing. They know everything. So part of walking humbly is just slowing down and paying attention, because God's got something to tell you. And if you're not going to pay attention to him, your life's going to stink. It really is. And you're going to set yourself up for some very miserable times. This is Uncle Dan on his front porch telling you that life is really simple. If you keep it simple, you'll enjoy yourself. God bless you and have yourself a God-filled, blessed week.